So I got the email with the list of speakers who was invited, and I saw my name and I said, this must be a mistake. I must be some kind of imposter, you know. It's like, how did I possibly get on that list? But here I am. So I want to talk about the bike program that I do called Bikewalla. The brief of it is we had 400 bikes donated over the course of the year. With a whole group of volunteers, we fixed up and distributed 400 bikes for free to people in the community. But I was reminded I should talk about how this whole thing started. And if I'm going to blame it on anybody, I should blame it on Liz. Because Liz and I were having dinner one night at Jahan's house, a Persian feast. It was just an amazing meal. And she was just getting going at the IRC in the new building, and I had all these bicycles that I needed a place to fix up and work on. So she said, well, why don't you just move the whole program into the IRC? So we did, and I ran the program there for a couple of years. I was associated with another bicycle organization, but I felt like they had a real limited view of what I could do with this. So I went off on my own and started Bikewalla. And we decided not to be a nonprofit and not have a board of directors and not be a 501c3 because those things really hindered the kind of work I wanted to do. So we get bicycles donated from the community, from UMC Police Department, the Greensboro Police Department. People show up all the time with more bikes. And I have this whole core of volunteers that I contact and they come pick up bikes and they bring them home and they fix them and they bring them back repaired. And then I have all these other people that email me all the time, I need a bike, or my clients need a bike. So finally last year I decided I wouldn't give bikes to individuals, I'd give them to organizations because they knew their clients and they knew who needed the bikes and who was just like wanted a bike just because they wanted a bike. So I worked through all these other organizations, Church World Service, Every Campus Refuge, Action Greensboro, a person who lives in this neighborhood that's named Rita, who probably gave away 50 or 60 bikes this year to kids in the neighborhood. And it's just an amazing project. The part of it that really is the most fulfilling is when Every Campus or Church World Service brings in a brand new immigrant into this country, somebody who's just gotten here and they don't have any money, they don't have any place to live, they obviously don't have a car or any transportation, but they do have a job and they need to be able to get to that job. They're not going to buy a car, so they come and I give them a bicycle, and they either use the bike to get to work or they use the bike to get to the bus that's going to take them to work. And the most notable thing this year is one of the people showed up and I gave him a bike and he didn't know English and I don't even know what language he speaks, but we both spoke bike. So I put the bike up on the stand, I showed him how to change the gears, and right away he was just doing all this stuff, and he was saying stuff in his language and my stuff, but we were talking bike. And then he turned around and smiled at me, and his interpreter said, well, you know, he just came from a refugee camp, and he just can't believe that he's in the States and somebody's just simply giving him a bike because he needs one. And that's the kind of stuff that really keeps me going and doing this stuff. And it's really fun. So all the work gets done behind my office at the Lotus Center. I have a garage and a shed and work stands, and the whole thing is really about the volunteers and not the place. But one thing I made a note about that I really wanted to mention is that the way I get people to actually do stuff and volunteer is not by sending out email blasts or newsletters or Facebook. It's by meeting with them one-on-one and spending time and talking to them. And I find my best volunteers who I really could depend on are the people that I hang out with. And we develop a relationship. And so it's not just an email coming from a board of directors and organization. It's an email coming from me or one of the other people that does the thing saying, we need you to do this. And they say, oh yeah, I'll do this. And to me, that's the whole key. And I've been doing community organizing my whole life, and that's the whole key to community organizing is the friendships and the connections. And yeah, the email's convenient, but that's not really the way it's done. And I guess that's the point I really want to make is that when you're doing this kind of stuff, it's all about spending time with people and creating the friendships and the connections and working as a team and trying your best not to be the guy in charge and having the whole group make the decision and create the vision together. I can go on and on about these details, but that's really the thing, unless people have specific questions they want to ask. So the other thing is we accept bicycle donations, we accept financial donations. We love it when people donate helmets because every time I give away a bike, I want to give away a helmet and hopefully a lock with it. So if in your garage or your neighbor's garage or somebody sets it out for the trash or anything like that, there's bicycles, I want them. And they come back to the shop, we go through them, about half the ones I get are just garbage and unusable and department store bikes, but we do use them for parts. And then the rest goes off to recycling. And the ones that are fixable, we fix up. And we don't hoard them, we very quickly fix them up and send them out into the community to where they're going. Yeah?
If you want to donate a bike, how do we find you?
You can go to my website, Bikewalla or bikesboro.com. And it just so happens I brought business cards with me too, so I can give you one. So thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.